Hi and welcome to Reykjavík Roundup. No, wait. Hi and welcome to Iceland Roundup. Hi and welcome to Iceland Roundup, where we attempt to round up the last week of Iceland news.
Yeah, assuming we can get the name of our own podcast right.
It's entirely likely I'll fuck it up again.
That's why I don't even try to say it. I just know I'm going to get it wrong.
Now I'm confused though. What is the name?
Icelandic Roundup. Iceland Roundup.
Yeah, never use the Icelandic one. That's a sure sign of a person who doesn't speak English so good.
Yeah, let's start again. Welcome to Iceland Roundup, where me, Aðalsteinn and Sindri do our best to round up the last week of Icelandic news.
Yes.
This was the last week of Icelandic news.
We are the news herds.
The volcano is going to swallow us all.
It tried
Godspeed.
to swallow you, Jóndi, the volcano.
I was trying to get swallowed, I would put it that way. It was not trying to swallow me. I was trying to escape from this world via this, which I believe is a portal to another dimension.
It's a portal to, yes.
A hot dimension.
Yeah, at least if I jump into a lava stream, it's definitely gonna teleport me into a different state of being.
Yes.
A euphemistic but accurate way of describing the process.
Of ceasing to exist.
Do you know the University of Iceland took it upon itself when this volcanic activity started in Reykjavík to answer the question, what will happen to you if you jump into the flowing lava?
A busy 5 seconds out of their schedule, I'm sure.
No, it was really detailed.
Yeah.
Stop asking us.
I think let's talk about that. But first, let's just tell people that there was a volcanic eruption yesterday. It started around 9:30 or something yesterday morning.
Yeah,
It's more or less like
judging by the deafening helicopters flying over my house. Yeah.
It's
about 9:30.
We have news on the helicopters, actually.
Did they all crash?
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
So there was an eruption yesterday. It's more or less seemingly over.
Yeah, it fizzled out.
Yeah. So you can check other videos on this channel or whatever to see what that looked like, because we went there. Not me and Aðalsteinn and Sindri, just me.
No, I would never go there to make a video.
We should though, but we could have today, but it didn't last long enough for us to do that.
Yeah, maybe we should go and do a podcast in Grindavík with the 8 people who
live there.
Yeah, who refuse to evacuate.
Yeah, I think that's part of the story from yesterday.
We will just do anything for more views, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing this podcast inside the volcano.
Did you at any point think we were not doing whatever?
That's just what it's leading to. You've been just slowly reeling me into the point where yeah, all right, I'll do it. Anything for the podcast, Jóndi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is where we
help with your coffee mug?
Yeah, I think I need to just start over. Can we start over? No, it's too late.
It's too late.
Yep. When did we start? Did people hear me chew on the stjörnurúla?
No, they missed out on the stjörnurúla.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
The delicious taste of Apollo stjörnurúla.
The second best licorice in Iceland.
Harsh.
But accurate.
Mail me some money, Apollo, and I promise I will give it to Aðalsteinn.
Sure you do. Sure you will.
But I said it was the second best.
That's probably higher praise than they've heard in ages. Do they still even advertise? Have they just given up?
Yeah, I think so.
Apple like this? No, they don't have to. People eat this anyway.
People eat them at the movie theaters, but you never see ads for them before the movies. It's always ads for a bank or something.
True.
Insurance. Gyms love to advertise at the movie theater, which I find fascinating.
Trying to loan you money.
Yeah.
To pay for the
gym.
Yeah. Tickets and the gym membership.
Yeah, it's when you're done stuffing Apollo licorice into your swollen face, come work out for a while, you fat fuck.
Yeah, you swell a bit if you eat licorice, Icelandic licorice.
Oh yeah.
Well, what swells is your blood pressure. first.
I was once hooked up to I don't know what's it called, hjartalínurit, like a heart monitor thing and blood pressure while eating Icelandic licorice, kúlusúk, which is like dark.
Is this like a fraternity
licorice.
pledge or something?
No, I was like I had a health thing, so I had to be monitored, and then I was eating licorice, and people started running into the room thinking I was dying because my blood pressure spiked and my like heart went all crazy, and I was just like, what's going on?
Maybe that's why Apollo Licorice doesn't advertise, is the Surgeon General has forbidden them to market their products.
That could be.
But it's so good, but it's so bad.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good it should be illegal. And is in
probably,
most parts of Iceland.
So back to yesterday, guys.
You could be arrested for feeding one to a sheep.
Yes.
Really?
No.
I mean, some laws about animal welfare, though, must apply.
Eventually, if you feed them enough, the laws start kicking in. It's like at the 30th roll, it's like, all right.
This has become like a welfare issue.
Yeah, as soon as the sheep keels over, then...
Oh my god. So the news.
So the news, yeah. So there was an eruption yesterday. An underwhelming eruption in many ways. A puny eruption.
But still
sad, really.
Most exciting eruptions in a while.
Because it was so close to Grindavík.
Yeah, and it went because we have these like giant
berms.
Berms
Is the term. Protective walls around the town.
Yeah.
That's where the town name Birmingham comes from.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
you could say anything to me.
I guess similar.
I mean, it might be. I don't know.
The berms.
The only thing I know about Birmingham is that's where the Moody Blues are from. I don't know anything
Black
else.
Sabbath too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
like two really awesome bands.
Guys,
like
this podcast isn't about music.
But it should be, damn it. When is it going to be? I know you guys are always trying to slowly move the podcast inside the volcano. Yeah. I'm going to start to slowly move it towards being a music podcast.
I'm trying to move it like into the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, I think that's something we can all get behind.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, the volcanic eruption, like it started at the edge of what did you call it?
The berm.
The berm. On the right side of the berm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the north side of the berm.
North side. And then it opened up on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Well, it basically, like, the fissure basically also opened up through and under the berm. Like, that's the way it looked to me, anyway.
You were there, so...
Yeah, so it basically, the fissure line just continued opening up.
Yeah.
Went through the berm, and
then
a few hundred meters.
Tiny,
Fissure?
Fissure.
I think it was just the same one, basically. Maybe a different one.
The Met's office said
it was a different one.
Yeah, a different one.
I guess they know.
Well, do they?
I can only tell you how it looked.
Have you ever read a weather forecast and it came true? It became a reality, not just a...
My father has developed this magic technique for he's like the most accurate predictor of weather I have ever met.
Did he get a hip replacement?
He has he has 3 or 4 sources for news, right?
Yeah.
And he just has developed this sense of which of them is going to be accurate. It's like when it's like a forecast that tells you this is going to happen in this many days and it's coming from that source, it's wrong, but the other source, is right, and he knows. I call him every time I actually need to know what the weather's going to be like. I ask my dad.
Maybe.
Have you tried monetizing this thing? Because
I'm trying right now. It's like, get off my back.
Because this would actually kind of be quite helpful for the rest of us here.
Yeah. I don't think you want my dad on this show, but I can try to figure out a way to convey his thoughts to you.
Maybe you can put his number on the screen for
oh,
sure.
He'd love that.
Yeah. Number is
nothing
email.
Dad loves more than talking to strangers on the phone.
Right. We'll put up his contact details, his address, and CV on there.
And his kennitala also.
Oh yeah, social security number, absolutely. The other news story from Grindavík was that prior to the eruption, there was a swarm of earthquakes from early in the morning. Some some of whom were pretty big actually.
Yeah, some
There
of
was
them
like
were
a-
felt in Reykjavík
Yeah,
as well.
I thought it was more thunder. I was like, oh God, another thunderstorm.
yeah, which is more unusual than feeling earthquakes.
Yeah.
Think of it. So when the police or search and rescue teams actually were trying to sort of evacuate the few people who stubbornly still live in Grindavík.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do all day?
In Grindavík,
Yeah. Just like
run
watch
around in
TV.
the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
But there are, like-
spelunking.
Businesses open.
Yeah.
It's like some of the fish processing plants are open.
I think some of them are just.
Maybe an insurance place.
Might be.
I think some of them are just making a stand. They're just, this is the hill they're willing to die on, kind of a thing.
All right.
Wow.
Whatever. Anyway.
Interesting phrase. you
No, I
chose
mean,
to use.
if you're from there.
Yeah,
and,
there's no hills there.
If you're from there.
Faults, divots.
A lot of faults.
Yeah. The fault they're willing to die on. Die in.
Die in. Yeah, I guess people who are from there and have a strong connection to the place want to keep living there, but it's very few people at this point. But during the evacuation, it was alleged that some local threatened the search and rescue with a firearm.
Yeah, and he was arrested by
Not a firework.
No, it's like a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
That's haglabissa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, haglabissa. Yeah.
True. Shotgun.
Shotgun.
If
Which
you're
is-
writing sci-fi, you have to call it a riot gun. I don't know why, but it's
Which
like a rule.
Which I feel
Wow.
that's kind of a first, isn't it? When you're trying to evacuate an area where somebody so much does not want to go that they.
Yeah, but
that they
just to be
shoot
fair,
you.
the guy has been interviewed by
Vísir?
Vísir and Morgunblaðið and
and
Probably-
ENN, I'm sure.
probably ENN, yeah, Samstöðin. But and he like refuses to have like pointed the gun towards someone, says that the search and rescue guy asked for a photo and he said, "Don't you want a photo with me holding the gun?" And then he took the photo and later was arrested by the Icelandic Viking squad.
All right. I mean, I'm
No,
suspicious.
no, I was pointing the gun over there, and then he walked in front of the gun. and
I'm very suspicious of authority in general, but that just doesn't sound very plausible, does it?
No, but if you think about it, like why would he pull out a gun? No one except like agents of the government were in the town, evacuating the town. The only possible like ending to him waving a gun around was being forcibly removed from the town.
Maybe this
which
kind of shit happens
allegedly-
all the time in Grindavík. Maybe that's why they love Grindavík so much. They're just constantly waving shotguns at each other.
Yeah, but
Like nowhere else in Iceland can you do this. I
But
know,
they-
right?
if your point was like, I don't want to
Sorry,
evacuate
that button
the
is
town,
off. It's really bugging me.
What?
Oh, thanks to that.
This power strip is turned off.
Wow. You're not
You
just
may have just saved the recording.
Yes. Do you want to talk about that piece of news?
Oh yeah, we were supposed to record this on Monday. It's Wednesday now.
We're
and
supposed to.
We did, and I fucked it up.
Yeah.
I
But my point, if I can finish.
of course, I'm so sorry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My point is,
Always with the
if
jokes.
your like aim, in pointing the gun at someone's head is to get to stay in Grindavík, that's the only sure way to be removed from Grindavík, is by pointing the gun at someone's head.
I do not find your logic at fault there.
Okay, thank you.
I think
You're one
that's
of few
sound
people.
logic. I would say. But I would, on the other hand, not necessarily argue that the man in question runs on logic all the time.
He's not a Vulcan, is what you're saying.
It's not a Vulcan. That's
Yeah.
so it makes no sense. But it's
Ironic, considering the fate of Grindavík,
Yeah.
the
I mean-
volcano. I don't know.
I mean, it's not at this point. It's
I
not
don't know
logical
why
to
I
live in
bothered
Grindavík
saying
to
that.
begin with, I guess, right?
I mean, there were two people who never evacuated yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
There was this old farmer and his wife who live
On the outskirts, right?
on the outskirts down by the sea.
Mhm.
And I mean, their logic was sound. It's like nothing is going to happen to us here. the magma will never flow like down to our house. And I mean, if you look at the map, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they refused, and they stayed in town the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's also a thing. If people want to stay, just allow them to stay.
Yeah, and the like the head of police in Reykjanes, which is
Úlfar
Lúðvíksson,
Lúðvíksson.
the police.
My former boss.
Your former boss.
When you were a police officer in Investitors.
Wow,
Yeah.
we haven't like brought that up in a while. So how do you know Úlfar?
I used to
just
work.
said he was his
I
boss.
worked for him as a police officer.
You worked as a police officer. Where
Yeah.
did you work as a police officer?
I feel like this is repetitive. Have we talked about this before?
No, but where?
Not enough,
if
it
you
seems.
Just answer the question.
Oh, yeah, in the Westfjords.
In the Westfjords.
Yes.
Isn't that the place
Just answer the
where
question.
it's alleged that you can see all the way to Greenland?
Allegedly, you can see all the way to
Yeah.
Greenland. I don't think that's true.
If you're drunk enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
But
if
yeah,
you
that's not true because we mentioned the University of Iceland answering the question, what happens if you fall into flowing lava? They have also answered the question,
can you see?
can you see to Greenland? And their answer is no.
So unlike the what happens if I step into lava, the answer in that question for that question was very brief,
Yeah.
laconic, if you will.
Yeah. Ooh. No, they said like because of the way the Earth is shaped, if you believe it's not flat.
Yeah, so there's one answer for flat earthers and another one for sane people in this case.
Whenever the university starts actually giving out answers for both of those categories,
You know it's time to jump into the lava. Goodbye.
I think it's over.
When we're devoting taxpayer money to answering questions specifically to flat earthers.
Yeah, but the Earth's natural curve makes it impossible for you to see from Iceland to. So even though it theoretically like was, if it was flat.
Yeah.
I follow you. People
So
just
what-
listening to this
so
might
what-
not have access to your hand gestures, but I understand. what
But
you're
if I
trying to say.
understand how the curvature of the Earth works, what we have to do here is to just get a taller mountain, right?
Yes. Like by
We don't have a lot of those.
No,
That's-
like 5,000 meters, and maybe that would actually work. I would.
I feel like this is a
I'm
myth
so
about Iceland that we have these
math.
big mountains, and we really don't.
No,
they're kind of these
They're kind of puny.
I was
cute
just-
little.
me and my wife were just discussing this morning when we were driving Sæbraut, which is the main road by the sea in Reykjavík.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, no, but you always
I
see
think people
like
take Cyprus for granted. It's the view is amazing. It's so nice. It's such a nice drive. I take it even though it's the longer way.
yeah, it's usually the faster way
Yep.
because you can drive like over the
Yeah,
lake.
and there's less traffic.
Yeah. And there's always like bunch of tourists at Sólfarið. I think
Mhm.
we've discussed this before.
The Sun Voyager sculpture
Yeah, which is like not a thing for Icelandic people.
never has been.
Never has been. And they're always taking like pictures of themselves with the Sun Voyager and with Mount Esja in the backdrop, which is like without a doubt Iceland's most overrated and ugly mountain.
What are you
we
from the
have.
countryside?
No, I'm from Breiðholt, which is a mountain in Reykjavík which is beautiful.
At least you have lupins in Breiðholt, I guess. There's no lupins on the Esja.
Well, there are.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
Lupina.
Yeah. There must be.
Yeah,
It's
there
always
are like
lupina.
by the Skógræktarfélagið has like an area there.
I think the lupins are pretty. I think.
Yeah, I like them, but the mountain is so just bland. It's flat. It's like
Well,
it's
most
like a pile of dirt.
Like everything beautiful about Iceland, it's what the mountain isn't saying. That's what's so nice about it. It's the absence, if you will. It's the
absence of beauty.
Yeah, well, it's the grim, empty understatement of it that
Yeah,
is
okay.
perhaps the draw of it.
But I would just wish
Such as
that
a grey, roiling sea.
I would just wish that
Overcast
tourists would,
with-
like see another Icelandic mountain than Esja.
Oh yeah, there's lots of pretty ones out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to go far to see a mountain that's okay.
No,
You've had
isn't
on the-
like it's kind of like a
Was it Uxl in the East Fjords that you drive, or Uxie?
Uxie,
No. Yeah. That's some pretty stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. I drive there at least twice a year.
Uxie, right?
Uxie, yeah, and I always have to stop and help someone change a tire on their rental car.
It's part of the experience. It's
yeah.
part of the trip. Yeah, you
Before
get to
that-
feel smarter than somebody else for a minute there.
Before that road got paved, I got stuck there on a family trip.
Paved? It's not paved.
Uxie,
Uxie, is it paved?
most of it now. It's a lot nicer than it used to be anyway.
Yeah, but it's. I don't think it's paved all the
Oh,
way.
okay.
Paved with flat tires. They just lay them right into the road.
Yeah, we
Paved with broken hopes of fun travel.
I got stuck there. We actually had to like rent a bulldozer to get the cars.
You went there during winter time, or?
No,
Oh,
summer,
really?
yeah.
Summertime?
Like
Yeah.
June, I think. I was 8 or something, but it was an experience.
So it's like decades ago.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
There was
This is in the actual 1980s that we're talking about.
there
Barely.
So just there was a story today about the average life expectancy of Icelanders
Yeah.
rising again after like a little lull in during COVID.
A little lull.
A little
Yeah.
lull.
So this is the life expectancy of people not inside volcanoes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, these
Because that can skew the numbers
That
slightly.
can skew the numbers. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you the numbers here.
Drinking so much
Icelandic
coffee.
male, the life expectancy
I
of
love
Icelandic males is now
My only reason for coming here.
Yeah.
80.9 years, and women is 84.3 years. So
It's 4 years better for women.
almost.
Wow.
And I guess what I took out of this is that there's an increase in about 5 years for Icelandic males since 1990.
Yeah.
4 years for women. And for comparison, males in the United States have a life expectancy of 74.8 years. So we will outlive them by almost 5 years.
A happy thought.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this?
It's
Other
like
than
we
the happy
have-
one. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Like, I mean, why? Like
Sorry.
this is
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
No,
Is it-
I'm just sitting here
it's
thinking about Val Kilmer.
yeah.
He didn't even make it to, what, 74?
Well, didn't
No, he was 65, I believe.
But he was like, he had some
cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah, throat cancer, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what killed him, but...
But he was great in like Top Gun, the new movie, where he like,
Just didn't say anything.
yeah.
Yeah, he was underrated. He had a style all his own, I think.
Mm-hmm.
People were pointing out that how good he was at doing comedy and how he should have done more of that. I kind of agree. It's like he has that kind of seriousness where it's like, you know, I think it's hard for him to convey full gravity, but like when it's supposed to come out serious, like when it's supposed to come out like a joke, he did it really well.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Did you ever see Top Secret?
Oh yeah. Do you
Yeah.
know? I know a little German.
Yeah. It's,
So you've never seen this 80s joke movie? Okay.
when he says like my machine can separate like millions of gallons of sea salt from seawater. Do you know what that would do for the starving nations of the earth? And Val Kilmer goes, they'd have enough salt to last forever. It gets me every time.
Yes, a great point actually. Yeah.
All right. What
They
about?
have to own salt for their porridge.
Yes, salt for the porridge. Good saying in Icelandic.
Yeah.
Salt í grötin. I'm gonna just pile through stuff that we.
We're not gonna take the chance and discuss the effect of Iceland's
Longevity.
longevity on the pension fund system.
Or
we can do like a separate episode just on
that's a
that.
very long episode.
Yeah, maybe it's like a season. See?
It's a whole season about the effects of aging and lowering birth rates on the pension system.
Yeah.
One of our, subtle, slow burn, long arcs, I think. But
It's also
I'm into it.
It's very popular. It's also a very popular topic in the European Union.
The Icelandic pension fund system.
Yes.
I imagine they must spend long hours laughing at our foolishness.
No, the other thing. Demography. Demography?
Oh, demographics.
Demographics. Demography?
It used to be the only way they could, make war on each other, but I guess,
Now they have drones.
Yeah, now there's actual war to be fought.
Just to keep this podcast on brand, we should tell people that last weekend on Saturday, 30 people were rescued from the very famous Icelandic glacier Eyjafjallajökull.
Yeah.
Can you
pronounce that? Eyjafjallajökull.
They were skiing.
Eyjafjallajökull.
But how do you correctly...
Eyjafjallajökull. Yeah. Well, you see, yes, the Icelandic J is in fact a Y, and then maybe it can start making more sense to you, and the double L can be like a D. I don't know. This is a very complicated language.
Yeah, it's a complete waste of time to try to figure out.
It's always funny to me how much time seems to have been spent on ensuring that every vowel in written Icelandic is pronounced correctly, right? Because we have all these accents, and like it's pretty much as you read them, Icelandic vowels. Like there's like a very, but then like the consonants are just this absolute clusterfuck that there is no rhyme or reason to, and people just have to sort of figure it out. And I also didn't realize until my wife started having to sort of read Icelandic that there's a lot of diphthongs that, most people just aren't very good at saying. Like, most Americans don't know what a fucking diphthong is. They think it's like underwear.
I have no idea what it is.
Well, since you're obviously not wearing your diphthongs today, it's when two vowels are, next to each other, basically, and one slides into the other. Yes, sérhljóð.
Sérhljóð?
Yep. So
give me an example,
two
because
vowels.
I don't know what any of this means. I missed out on this by...
Well, the opening sound of Eyjafjallajökull is a diphthong. When you go A.
A, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
The part of that particular word that nobody can pronounce is the double L, though.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's like where is it coming from? It's like coming from like the inside of the cheek there.
Yeah,
next
and
to
if
the
you
teeth.
and
Eyjafjall.
let's do a test on this. Say the word hella.
Hella.
First, do it by saying it on this side of the mouth. Hella.
Hella.
And then try to do it in the other.
Hella.
No, I'm right-tongued. I've learned I can't do it.
I can only do it on the left side.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like left-handed?
Have you noticed this before?
No, I'm like shocked. I'm learning so much about the Icelandic language.
But I can only, because I can make this sound like, and I can only do it by twisting my tongue to the left, and if I try to twist it to the right, it's impossible. It's
I
like
have no idea what
the
you just
tongue
did.
has some kind of asymmetric, muscle connections that, we're only beginning to understand.
But I have a friend who...
oh, that's nice.
One friend who was working on the linguistic
me a
stuff
while.
for Google, and one of the things he did was he was recording all the variations of sounds that are made when you speak Icelandic. Just as a part of like.
But he was just by himself in a room.
No. He was actually using the studio at the national broadcasters to record.
I remember this.
Yeah, maybe he was recording you, possibly.
No, I wasn't invited.
You don't have the right
but
voice.
A lot of my colleagues were.
Yeah. All right.
Always come. Hey, can you say
They were
something?
laughing at your pronunciation behind your back.
Yeah, because
It's
I
like
couldn't say
Aðalsteinn can barely talk. Yeah.
But then you can so when you do this sort of like systematically, you can listen to all the separate sounds that Icelandic makes, and it's a shocking experience if you're an Icelandic speaker, because it's fucking weird. Like the weirdest sounds that we use and we never really notice, like the double L.
Yeah, I feel like I
Isn't
learned
this
in university linguistics that like the nasal fricative or something in like hnífur,
Yeah.
like this, it's practically unique. Like it's found in like one or two other places in the world. Like nobody else does this.
Yeah, isn't it
Neither.
because we are like living on an island in the North Atlantic, and we
The isolation
been
effect.
isolated, and it's like other nations have like matured. And
Well,
we have-
They've been influenced by other cultures.
this is a
yeah.
supply chain issue to an extent. Like if you live.
well, you're really into the import-export
Yeah,
business.
this is really. If you think about it, because if you are living on an island and you do have
See, when your paper is in English, you have to know these things.
and you're doing the same things for 1,200 years,
Yeah.
and nothing new. Like there's no new sort of way of living or new like jobs to do or anything. You're just doing literally the same thing, like eating sheep and fishing for 1,200 years.
Yeah.
You don't need any new words.
Yeah, I lean
think it's-
kind of more towards this explanation as well because, I think in any widely spoken language, such as, English, there's a tendency to sort of simplify the way things are said. They condense, sounds into fewer sounds, and because it's like the necessity of it is like if a lot of people are going to have to speak it, it has to be sort of, flexible and interchangeable phonetically. And
So the key to the survival of the Icelandic language is to limit the population that speaks Icelandic.
I mean, I think it's a smarter idea than to dictate to people what the names of their children can be. I think that's actually more likely to succeed.
I think it's an isolation thing, just simply. If we just don't change anything, there's no need to find a new word. So we should just ban everything.
But we are like
All is forbidden.
All is forbidden.
Managed successfully to like adapt new words for things that like if we compare ourselves to Denmark and Danish speaking people, they just use English words for new things that came to Denmark, like
Helicopter and computer.
computer.
Yeah, computer.
I mean, no one says cowboy bukser. They just say jeans.
Jeans. Yeah.
And then they say
I
something
mean,
like,
as if cowboy bukser is like a really clever, is like a really original, salt of the earth Danish word to begin with. It's like how many
Cowboy hats.
cowboys I guess they probably had more cowboys there than here.
yeah, but definitely. But we have like Icelandic words for pretty much everything. It's like computer is tölva, and it's like a logic to it why it's called tölva.
Talnavölva.
The fusion between the Icelandic word for number and the Icelandic word for a sorceress.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a. Think about it. That's kind of a weird word.
Number sorceress. Ooh,
Yeah,
look
like-
at my numbers that I
makes
conjure.
sense.
Woo.
It makes sense though in Icelandic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Tölva,
guess so, yeah.
I think shit like that is again far more likely to have actual language saving effect than to tell people what the names of their children can be.
And then we recycle words. I mean, because we're on the topic of computers, tölva. For screens, we use skjár. And skjár is an old word used for like a...
The sky? Or like a window?
No, a window.
Yeah.
As also as the word vindauga, also
Winter, yeah.
also a window, like the English word window.
Really?
Yeah,
That's where the word window comes from?
Yeah, vindauga.
Wow, this is like we are just like the University of Iceland.
Yeah, anyway.
Explaining things to each other, and it's like this is amazing.
Yeah. I feel a little dumber when I talk about the news. It's just but talking about this, I feel like I'm
I feel just
gaining
dumb
knowledge.
all the time.
But my favorite sort of like mismatch between the English and the Old Norse is the word rannsaka. The Icelandic word for rannsaka.
Ah, yeah,
means-
ransack.
Yeah,
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, which means investigate.
Yeah,
But in English, it's ransacking, which just means basically.
going through everything.
I think if an Icelandic person is to learn anything about anything, he's going to have to steal some shit. It's just like, that's just...
Ransacking is just like emptying out somebody's place and,
Yeah.
just destroying it while doing it. And I think like there's a there's a historical explanation of why these two things don't really add up as meaning the same thing.
So
It's because we're a thiever's bunch, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything that can be pried loose, we will steal.
When you're ransacking something.
Yeah.
this
This is also how
puts my
this
job
is
title
why
into
this is why I'm really terrified of the Icelandic police.
Rannsóknarblamaður.
You're a ransacking journalist.
That's how the right sees you, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is how you're being
Policing.
framed by the right-wing media.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past, those cops and lawyers to use that as some sort of argument. Like, did you know that the word like they will reach for any stupid piece of.
This is I've never thought about it for that the prefix for your job title.
but I have a new job title anyways. So,
Oh yeah, okay. So you're not rannsóknar
podcaster?
No, I'm just
aðstoðar.
a podcaster.
He's a podcaster by now.
Yeah.
But I have one more thing to say about the reuse of words.
Yes.
And this is the word.
I feel like you're reusing words now.
I am
For this
I am
sentence.
very practical in that sense.
Yeah.
I never throw a word away. No.
I'm gonna use all the words I know.
Yeah.
Breath I will waste. Words not.
It's the Icelandic word for a tank.
Skriðdreki.
Skriðdreki, yeah. Which is actually
Pretty metal.
It's pretty metal. I mean, it means something like a crawling dragon. But at the same time, it's also a missed opportunity to reuse an old word for stríðsvagn, which is what the Swedes did. So stríðsvagn is like a chariot.
Yeah.
It's like a war chariot, like a
Chariot of
kind of a pre-Iron Age weapon.
Is that what they call them in Swedish? Is it stríðsvagn?
Yeah, we call them still stríðsvagn. The
chariot.
The chariot, yeah. But the
Swedes call it stríðsvagn.
Stríðsvagn, but that's the tank.
Mm.
So I think we missed an opportunity.
They make tanks.
They make
like,
stríðsvagn now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ja, Volvo her med en ny stríðsvagn.
You will glide in safety and comfort upon the modern battlefield like it was nothing.
Oh, the Swedes. Get me every time.
Yeah, they're great.
They're
Because
a fun
of the
bunch, aren't they?
accurate Weapon systems.
Yes. No, I mean, Icelandic was invented at a time when there were no fucking wheels, never mind chariots, but like, dragons, we had lots of those flying around.
No, I mean, think about it. In the history of Iceland,
Well, what? They had the wheels. When did they invent
well,
the
no,
wheels?
think about it. In Iceland,
The Swedes invented it like 500 years ago.
in Iceland,
tops.
people in Iceland people would use wheels. In Iceland, can you think of any usage of the wheel until the 20th century? It wasn't used.
It was a torture device, I believe.
Yeah, we had like... What? We didn't use the wheel
No. Where would you use the wheel?
on like horse-drawn carriages?
Where are you going to be drawing those things? There's nothing to draw them on here before the 20th century.
Ah, yeah.
There were no wheels. Think about that.
Wow. This
Was it just ships
is
and
fucking me up.
Just
horses?
horses?
Yeah.
No.
Have you heard this?
Not even
Have you heard this
wheelbarrows.
term hestfight for like?
If you're
You're drunk, but you're
you can sit on a
not too
horse.
drunk to ride
Sit
a
on a-
horse.
Yeah, hestfight.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like I just learned about this word today, and I was like instantly started picturing someone like too drunk to ride a horse. Because like I've been
why?
on a horse so drunk that I can like barely it's the horse does all the fucking work.
Yeah.
Like how drunk do you have to be?
I mean,
It's a meaningless word.
no.
No, you have to be able to hang on the damn horse.
Yeah.
So you have to be
It's a matter
conscious
of
enough to not
balance.
roll off it.
I think it's a matter of like switching from wood alcohol to something a bit, a bit more body friendly. Like Jesus Christ, like if you can't ride a horse anymore, like call a doctor.
Then you are very drunk.
I think that's like a really common Icelandic problem. That
To
you,
be too drunk to...
to ride a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been downtown recently during the weekends?
Yeah, the drunk people riding horses are a real plague.
No, I mean there's.
That's why I don't go there anymore.
You don't see any horses because people are so drunk.
Yeah.
They leave them at home.
Oh,
Talking
man.
about sound logic.
Yeah. Well, Jesus Christ. Before we run out of time, should we actually
And
talk about
words.
any... And words. Should we talk about anything like of substance this time around, or should we just wait for next week to arrive?
I mean, we had the volcanic eruption, like these 30 tourists on Eyjafjallajökull. I mean, what's there more to talk about?
I mean, we could talk about...
We had some, some greedy assholes whining about the
being charged for fishing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't dignify them with the playtime, the runtime.
Well, I have another one.
Who? I guess there is a question I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for introducing this this bill that will raise the prices on the?
Technically, it's Alþingi.
Yeah,
but it will definitely be written by the Ministry of whatever it's called. Finance.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is now in the hands of what? Viðreisn?
Yeah, it's Viðreisn. It's the Minister of. It's called Atvinnuvegaráðuneyti in Icelandic. It's like Ministry of
Employment. No.
It's the historical like fisheries and agricultural ministry.
How do you translate Viðreisn into good English? Is it re-erection?
Reform. That's I think you might have just used a new word there. But
resurrection.
The Reform Party is how I generally see it translated.
The Reform Party.
The Reform Party.
Yeah, that's good on them. They're splintering from Independence Party and introducing or being responsible for something that they probably hate.
Yeah, but so just to explain what we're talking about here is the suggestion or the proposed amendment to some of the Icelandic laws on how much the quota owners pay for the fish they fish out of the sea.
Yeah, because we have this great
as opposed to the fish they fish out of
the
lava or the sky or
the sky fish are.
You don't need no quota for those.
No, if you can catch them, you can keep them.
They're yours.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Yeah, we have this great system called the quota system.
Yes.
To make sure we don't overfish the fish stock.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real problem before the system. Now it isn't such a big problem, but the way that we let the companies monetize their
operations.
And they could take out loans with collateral in their share of the fish stocks, their quota, which technically by law is not
their property.
Mm-hmm. That has made the quota right holders amazingly rich, and they have
consequently bought 2/3 of the country with that money.
What the pension funds don't own, they own.
Yeah, basically, if it's not old money, import-export families, it's the pension funds, and if it isn't the pension funds, it's the quota right holders or their descendants.
It's almost like the libertarians' wet dream, isn't it? It's this sort of instance where, making someone phenomenally rich seemed to sort of help a conservationist cause.
Yeah.
So
but it's they didn't have to pay for their quota.
No, they got the quota originally based on fishing experience, I think.
Yeah, in the few years prior to the quota system being put in place.
And then subsequently, it was the state changed the law to allow you to sell and buy quota.
Yes.
And this has concentrated the quota in fewer and fewer hands over the years.
Yeah, there's a handful of families who own the fishing rights in Iceland.
And they have become, as we said, astonishingly rich in sort of an Icelandic context.
And international context as well, actually, because the largest quota holders are in European comparison quite rich.
Yeah.
And the proposed change isn't to raise the fees. It's saying that, you're not allowed to hand steer.
Just determine
so the question
the price.
Is they have to pay a percentage of the value of the fish.
Yeah.
And they have, for some reasons we're not going to get into, they've basically been allowed.
Yeah.
They've basically been allowed to decide themselves what the worth of the fish is.
Yeah, because they sell
no way of taxing anybody, but that's a different thing. Yeah.
And what the Icelandic government gets from this fiskveiðigjald, it's not a tax. It's like price you pay for being allowed to use this natural resource.
Yep.
It doesn't always cover the cost that's associated with like the government's involvement in making sure that this system works. So we have to run like an institution that
determines the amount of the volume of fish
Yeah,
available in the sea and stuff like that.
yeah, and that's determined by some like scientific research.
And the government pays for this. They don't
Yeah,
pay for any of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the amount of money that the government gets from these companies through this licensing stuff, it doesn't always cover the cost. So they're trying to say, like, okay, you have to pay according to the actual market price.
Not a random ass price that you determine yourself.
Yeah, and they are going absolutely crazy about this.
Yeah, it's they
Which was totally unexpected.
right. Yeah. They've
Seeing them whine about it is already making it worth it for me. Honestly, it's already making it far more enjoyable than it should be.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the majority of the Icelandic population does not seem to feel their pain.
It's nice to be in the majority for once.
Yeah, so nobody really feels sorry for them.
I mean, but if we try to put in context how like powerful these companies are, that if you go out to the store, most likely you're doing business with a store owned by one of these fishing companies. And when you buy, like if you have a kid and you have to buy diapers, you're probably buying it from a wholesaler that's owned by one of these fishing, it's like not the fishing company itself, but the owner of the fishing company also owns this wholesaler that she bought with money that she got from the fishing industry. If you're a smoker and you buy like a pack of red Marlboros, you're buying them from a wholesaler that's
owned by the fisheries.
Owned by the fishing industry.
So in like a real economic sense, like when you visit Iceland, you are not really visiting a country so much as you are visiting a conglomeration of fishing magnates who
and pension
decide,
funds.
decide themselves how much everything is going to cost.
No, I
Basically,
with no competition or no monitoring.
I mean, they would definitely say that's wrong, but I would definitely say that's
of course they would.
accurate.
Yeah, of course they would.
I mean, they didn't become phenomenally rich by admitting they were doing anything wrong. Did they know?
No, I think there are two things that are quite interesting here, which is like, first of all,
the pension funds.
Fascinating.
I'm gonna stop.
No. I mean, it is fascinating. It is ridiculous. Like
it's two things. The first of all, it's the idea that unlike, say, Norway or Denmark or something, we somehow decided to basically privatize our natural resources, which Norway didn't do when they found oil, and not to the same extent with their fisheries, I think.
Well, we actually, like, when the law was put in place, it says in the first paragraph, like, the Icelandic fish stock is, like, owned by the Icelandic people.
Yeah.
Which is a very easy sentence to just slap on paper.
And
I'm not saying we're talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like, we did it that way.
Yeah.
And then we just gave
the fish
private interest,
which
the
is
rights to fish the fish.
It's de jure versus de facto. So it says that
Well,
we own it.
Are you a lawyer?
No. I'm a liar.
He skimmed a Latin
officer.
phrase book once.
I once read the Latin phrase book. It's in the shelf. No, so
dusty.
that's kind of like it's a bit of a yeah. In that
Is
sense,
that a Latin phrase?
No, it's a German phrase.
It's a German phrase. Italian phrase maybe. South Italian phrase. Shit. All right.
It's getting so warm in here.
I know.
Is it time to crack open a cold one?
Yeah.
You have one?
Yeah, you want some beer?
No,
You
I'm
have
good.
beer in a bag.
Yeah.
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Are you going to be hestfire?
I hope not.
I think we should, like,
pour one out to my...
We should just call it quits here.
Yeah.
This is good.
Is
So
there-
we'll explain everything
can
about the
I-
quota system.
Yeah.
And one thing, because we last episode, I think we asked people to like leave comments.
Mhm.
They did,
Yeah.
and it was amazing to read through it.
Yes.
I still don't believe anyone, but please continue if you can.
I can see where you get your fine instincts as a journalist. You never believe anything you
A
read.
ransacking journalist.
Yeah, you're.
Are you following the money on these comments now, or
Are you
Yes.
ransacking our commenters?
I mean, no comment. But I have a favorite commenter, and I'm not going to tell you who it is.
okay?
It's me.
Well, thanks for listening or watching. We have been Iceland Roundup.
Iceland Roundup.
We didn't really round up a lot this time around.
No,
Next time around, we'll round
Should I-
up some more.
but
Should
if you
I-
have like comments about the way we built the show up, you can send them via email to jondi@reykjavík.is.
We build the show up.
I mean,
That would be a switch.
Right. All right. Thank you.
wasn't that the correct?
That's the
thing?
correct email. You are welcome to email me. You can also just comment on Aðalsteinn's face
call.
on YouTube.
Sindri's father.
Yeah.
Put this number in the show notes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Either way, thanks for staying with us for this long. See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.